Hey, when does the show start?
Hey, wait a minute.
First, let's hear from our sponsors.
Oh, okay, in just a minute.
If you own property, we have an emotional attachment to that property. If we're clearing that property, we want to make sure whoever is doing the job has the utmost respect for our property. We worked hard for the damn thing, right? Well, JHM Land Solutions, LLC, Charles Fountain and his crew, that's one of the biggest compliments that they get all the time from their customers is that they have respect for their property. The most common response is simple, wow, you guys did such a fantastic job. Family-owned, landowners, homeowners, businesses wanting to turn their property into usable space. We're talking land clearing, grading, mulching, and tree work. Anytime, you just get a hold of JHM Land Solutions if you're in Georgia, Alabama, and or Tennessee. And they treat every project, no matter big or small, with the most care, and they strive to exceed all expectations. That's just how Charles rolls. How do you get a hold of them? Well, on Facebook, JHM Land Solutions, or you can call 770-274-9120. Solutions for your outdoor space. That's what he's all about, JHM Land Solutions. Big thanks to Big Steve Boating. What's Big Steve Boating all about? Well, we love Big Steve Boating. Nate and I both love Big Steve Boating. You should love Big Steve Boating. Why? Well, Logan's a 2%er. Big Steve Boating's a 2%er. They support the BS. It's a fishing guide service. Lake Lanier. Boat is docked in the Gainesville Marina. So if you're coming to Georgia on a vacation, you're listening from out of town, or you live here for a staycation and you want to go catch some beautiful, delicious fishes, get with the best in the business, and that's Big Steve Boating. Monday through Friday, start times depend on the time of year and weather conditions. Can accommodate up to 4 passengers. So if you're a beginner or seasoned vet, doesn't matter, with the fishing stuff. Everybody has a blast on the boat. Bait and all the fishing equipment is provided. You got to bring your own cooler, which is kind of the norm for this kind of thing. Snacks and drinks not provided. You can bring alcohol. That's cool. And Nate was Logan's muse. Logan just said to corporate America, kiss my big fat hairy white ass. I'm going to go do this. Nate, you should feel proud that Big Steve Boating exists because of you.
I'm so happy for him, and I'm excited for his new adventure, and I just can't wait to come back to Atlanta and so I can go fishing, because I don't even think I went fishing when I was there, so this is very exciting.
I know. Isn't that cool? We'll go with Big Steve Boating, and you can too on Instagram at Big Steve Boating. Or you can call 706-299-1704, 706-299-1704. The holiday season is here. It's not coming up. It's here. You got to start early. And I don't know what early is to you, but I start all the way back in September prepping, especially this day and age with not being able to find stuff. You go into the grocery store lately, not seeing any meat in the meat aisle. Well, I'm telling you right now, Atlanta Steaks and Seafood, they've got all the meat you need. I got a brisket, beautiful brisket from Terry Smith just the other day. Brought it to my house. If you're in the Atlanta area, he'll do the same for you. Doesn't matter where you're at, they can ship it out. We ship it, you grill it. That's their tagline for Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. So take advantage of all the meats that he has. And by the way, qualified purchases will receive a free spiral ham. Order any 3 boxes and Atlanta Steaks and Seafood will throw in a delicious and flavorful spiral ham just for you. Eat ham like for Christmas, right? That's what you do. So 10% off. I want to give you a little discount because you listen to the BS podcast or the Black Cloud podcast, right? If you listen to any of them, you just tell them. Give them discount code Bailey. B as in boy, A-I-L-E-Y. Get 10% off. But go to Atlanta Steaks, that's with an S, Atlanta Steaks, because he's got a bunch of them, AtlantaSteaksandSeafood.com.
People have said it for years.
Bailey, you have a black cloud hanging over you all the time.
Now, there's a podcast to hear those dumbass stories of misery and triumph. Welcome to Bailey's Black Cloud Podcast.
Welcome. This will be episode 42, correct? Yes?
Yeah, that's correct.
Did you just say yes because you actually knew, or are you just saying yes to agree with me so we can move on because you didn't know?
No, that's right.
That's right. That's right. My name's Jason Bailey here in the Golden Scissor Studio, beautiful Roswell, Georgia, with Mexico Nate. And yes, Mexico, that's where he resides. Hello, Mr. Nate. Hola.
Hello.
Hola.
Hello, Jason.
Hola. And as we try to figure out this video aspect of the show, I know, like this week we started to go to 5 days a week. So, of course, the Black Cloud, which we're about to do here, is the freebie on Wednesdays, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays for the subscribers, for the 2%ers, I'd mentioned on Monday's show, I think it was, I don't know, I get them all twisted and turned, that we're doing video. We have a video element, and we're trying, but it's more complicated than you're like, well, I'll just fucking record the damn fucking show and put it up on the fucking YouTube. Well, it's a little bit more than that, because we have the platform that we do. It's just complicated. So
yeah.
back the fuck off, all right?
Right. I mean, the people that are paying for the BS, we can't just throw it up on YouTube because then, they're not getting their money's worth. So
yeah, that's a good way to say it. I didn't know how to say that.
Yeah,
I was trying to say that, but I just I didn't want to get into the money aspect of this.
Yeah. Well, it's not fair to them. They're paying for extra content, so they should get their exclusivity. So I don't think it's a big deal.
I will tell you on Friday's show, when we do the BS on Friday, we'll introduce a new member to this project. So it'll now be Moa. It'll be Mexico Nate's. Well, we're going to unveil who Mute is. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And there's already a lot of guesses on the 2%er BS Facebook group. And some might be not far off. And stop, like the Brandi thing, it's not going to happen. I'm just telling you that right now. You can take her out of the equation. I know, spoiler alert. It's just not going to happen. She doesn't exist. I wish she did. I really do. I would love to have a conversation with her, but she went dark. We chatted a little bit on text, and then we were supposed to talk, and then she just disappeared. Poof, vanished. Poof.
Right. Or stop asking us and ask her.
Yeah, ask her. Don't ask us.
Yeah, because open invite.
And by the way, there's no heat at all whatsoever. We love her to death. I think she's extremely talented. It almost breaks my heart, to be quite honest with you. It just tears it in two. I mean, I've never had. I feel like we're boyfriend girlfriend, and I'm infatuated with her, and just trying to get a hold of her, and she just won't call me back. What did I do wrong? Is it me? What did I do? So I don't know. So maybe, she'll make an appearance at some point. She's got an open invite anytime because we're friends. I mean, it's more than just there's no receipt from her former employer or anything like that. But, she's a great radio person. She's a great personality. She's a very talented individual. I just don't know what happened to her. So before I get into the Black Cloud for this week, a couple points here that I want to bring up. Our sponsors are fantastic, and they're growing by the day. Each week, I've got numerous meetings with possible sponsors, and really I'm batting pretty good. My average is really good with after talking to somebody and then getting them on. And they're reaching out to us, to me. So this is great. This is fantastic. So a couple of them, I just want to point out some pops. Stockton Mortgage, Dave Flashner. He's getting clients left and right, and he's fantastic. I love Dave to death. And I knew Dave before this whole thing because I've worked with him. I've dealt with him with my properties, and he's just a no bullshit guy. And that's why I like Dave. But he's texting me all the time. Got a phone call. Got a client. Got a phone. He didn't understand. He was just trying to support the what we're doing. When I initially called him and reached out to him, I was like, hey, Dave, I've been told by our friends, Tom and Dan, that do have a very successful podcast. And I've asked their advice on a lot of things as we do this full time. And he said, it's weird, but in the podcasting world, there's a handful of them, but mortgage companies in particular do really, really well. I'm like, why is that? And I don't know. It's just their biggest sponsor for Tom and Dan is a mortgage company. So I was like, well, I know a mortgage guy. My wife's a real estate agent. She deals with them all the time. So I got a hold of Dave Flashner with Stockton Mortgage. And I remember the first day, this would have been a couple weeks ago, that his commercial ran. It was on a Monday sub show. And we're driving to Florida. And it was 11:15, and we're in the car. And he calls me, and I got him on speakerphone, and it's me, and it's Ray. Ariel's in the back with 3 dogs. And he goes, what the fuck? I'm driving, stuck in Atlanta traffic. I'm like, what do you mean? What's going on? I thought something was wrong. I was like, man, fucking Nate forgot to put the commercial in. What the fuck? That's what my first thought was. He goes, what the fuck? And I said, what's wrong? What's wrong? And he goes, I've already got a client. It's before noon on Monday. Not that he's not already successful and he's got, a huge clientele list, but because of the BS, he got one first day of advertising. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, that's how it works. I mean, you're we're telling, like, I'm not lying to people about all these great sponsors. Of course I want them to call you, so every time he gets excited and it's almost like he's surprised. Like, what are you surprised about? So that's good. And also Big Steve Boating, which is one of our newer sponsors. He's taking somebody out today, actually.
Oh, very nice.
Out on Lake Lanier to do some fishing. And I guess a big misconception with like what he does, like I go deep sea fishing when I'm down in Florida, right? Well, it's the equivalent, but just, in Georgia, you go out on the boat, he skippers the boat, you go out and you catch the fish that George has to offer. I know it's a big deal because when we go up to the cabin to Paradise City, I see fly fishermen all the time. So it's a big deal. I mean, I know that's not what he's doing, but he's catching bass. I guess the winter months are the big months, the best months to go fishing. I did not know that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I guess I'd never even thought about it. Yeah, I guess, Lanier doesn't freeze over, I don't assume. So, yeah, I guess you could go at any time.
So I guess I got to redo the commercial because I don't know if I mentioned that in the commercial. He's like, can you just make it a point to let people know that just because it's chilly wills outside does not mean that we don't go fishing and the fish aren't biting, because this is when the fish are biting. I was like, did not know that. I would have thought just during the warm months. He goes, you are wrong, Mr. Jason Bailey. You are wrong. I said, okay, well, I apologize. My fault, my bad. All right, let's get to the black cloud for this week. It is all about being a hypochondriac. Can you spell hypochondriac? And am I saying that correctly?
I think you're saying it correctly. I don't think I could spell it.
Me neither. I can't. I tried to write it down for my little notes for today's show. I'm all over the place. I got the hypo part, and I didn't even do a Google search, which obviously would be the easiest thing to do. So if I could read my writing, it's like HYPOCO. I think there's an N in there. There might be a K and an N, another N, maybe an A and a C and a K, something in there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Just as long as I know what I'm talking about.
We'll just call it the hypo C.
The hypo C. So I am not a hardcore hypo. Where would you put me on a scale 1 to 10? 10 being the strongest, the most hypochondriac out of hypochondriacs. Where would you put me at?
Maybe like a 7. Like a little
that high, really?
Well,
is that what you think of me, you fucking asshole?
Well, I would assume, like, if you're doing a scale 1 to 10, 5 would be average, and so I think you're a little bit more than the average person. So I think 7 would be fair.
I agree. Yeah, I'm probably about a 7. I'm just kidding.
And your old place in Orlando was also always super clean. So yeah, I could see that.
Well, being clean has nothing to do with being a hypochondriac.
Yeah, it is. I mean, isn't that almost the definition? You want everything to be clean?
No, hypochondriac. You don't even know the definition. A hypochondriac is somebody that freaks out about being sick all the time.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
Cleaning ladies? I don't know. In a French maid outfit. You and I are not on the same page. I have no idea. OCD, maybe? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I thought they were. No, what is it? The person that like always scrubs their hands and that like they're afraid of germs.
Germaphobe.
I thought there was another medical name for it, but yeah, okay. So yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Hypogermophobiac.
Yeah, well, I guess it would be the same thing because a hypochondriac is afraid of germs and getting sick.
Yeah, but I'm a clean freak, not because I'm afraid of germs. I'm a clean freak because I need order in my life. So when things are out of order or they're messy and they're dirty, plus it's a sign of laziness. If you drink something out of a glass and the glass is empty, you put the glass not only in the sink but in the dishwasher. That's what you do. You don't leave your shit out for somebody else to clean up because that's a sign of laziness. And a sign of laziness is a sign of a weak-minded person. Weak-minded people don't survive. Fucking die. That's just my train of thought. It's a little intense, I know.
I don't know. Lazy people seem to survive.
I know. I've never seen one person in particular fail up so well. You should go to a fucking museum for numerous reasons. All right. So being a hypochondriac, as Nate said, on a 7 scale of 10, 7 out of 10, I just recently got the colonoscopy. Remember when I was fired, the first question I asked to the stone lady, the HR lady, just eyes move. Then you had the fat dude behind the desk that was just like all about being excited to get rid of me. He didn't say a thing because he's terrified of me. And then the big boss man who played it cool and he's politically correct and, all that good stuff. So my first question was,
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Let's hear from our sponsors.
what do you get when you take a core group of military and law enforcement veterans, you put them in a room that have this vast knowledge of firearms? We get Flying Monkey Firearms, flyingmonkeyfirearms.com. They're located in Lawrenceville, Georgia, so you can always go to their location there at 382 Swanson Drive. But if you can't, you can go to flyingmonkeyfirearms.com. They do have numerous things that they ship out, right? They have this feeling that video games, movies, news media, internet forums, so on and so forth, have shaped some of these misconceptions and perpetrated some bad information regarding firearms. These guys have been there and done that, and they want to share their information and their knowledge, something that you might not know. So educate yourselves by going to flyingmonkeyfirearms.com. They offer laser engraving on your firearm, 10% off if you mention my name, Bailey. When you go to flyingmonkeyfirearms.com, they've got tons and tons of firearms. They build them there, so on and so forth. So you can see the whole span of good stuff that Flying Monkey Firearms has there on their website, flyingmonkeyfirearms.com. There's a lot of people out there, maybe you, that have these houses that need a lot of work. They just want to unload them. They just want to get rid of them. Well, there are people out there that'll buy them from you. For example, Property Solutions Group. There are a bunch of investors that buy single-family homes like the ones we're talking about. All major areas, not just Atlanta. So you could be, Tobunca, Idaho, even if that, I don't know if that exists. But you got a house, you need to get a hold of Property Solutions Group. They can need work, your house or the property you're selling, right? They're going to take care of all that. Don't worry about it. You don't have to fix it up, get new carpet or get new countertops or anything like that. Just get a hold of Property Solutions Group. Transactions at propertysolutionsgroup.net. Transactions at propertysolutionsgroup.net or call 770-696-2950. That's 770-696-2950. All cash, fast closings, off-market homes, Property Solutions Group. Looking to buy a house? Seems like everybody and their mother is looking to buy a house. Well, you want to buy your house with the best in the business. You know who that person is? Yep, my wife, Rachel Guy. She is a realtor with Keller Williams Atlanta North office. So if you're in the Georgia area, all the way up to cabins in North Georgia or whatever it is you buy in South Georgia, Rachel Guy is your guy. See how that works out? And if you're moving to town, she'd be more than happy to get you all set up. It's a cool process, really easy process. You just tell her how much you want to spend, where you want to live, and what you want. She puts it in a little computer talkie box and it shoots you out emails of places. And then you get it done quick, fast, in a hurry. So how do you get a hold of my wife? For just professional purposes, 404-797-4600. That is 404-797-4600. Stress-free buying and selling in this crazy market. You can also get her on email. I am Rachel Guy at Gmail. I am RACHELGUY at gmail.com.
And back to you, Jason.
Well, my first question was, when's my insurance done? Because I have this colonoscopy scheduled for November. This would have been back in mid to late October. And so, it's by the end of the month, it's done. I'm like, fuck. So anyway, I got my colonoscopy in. I've told this story. It went well. It was a very pleasant experience. The day before kind of sucks because of the prep. Everybody knows that's done this. Anyway, so I go in and, I got it done because this Cologuard test that my doctor did, which I think is a fucking scam now, came back positive, whatever that means, right? So you go in, you get the colonoscopy, just more money to the man, and you get knocked out. You wake up 20 minutes later, and your ass is hanging out. I thought I was going to feel like I just got reamed in jail, but no, that doesn't happen. The doctor was very, very gentle, and then they tell you, right then and there what they found. So most of the time, and this is for guys and girls, chicks go in there and spread cheeks and get, doctors' hands up their asses all the time. So they're looking for polyps. Did you know that? That's what they're looking for, polyps, cancerous polyps.
Yeah, and I don't really know about. I mean, I know what they look like or the form of them, but I don't really know why those are bad.
I don't either. I know nothing about them. I don't even know what they look like. Like if I were a doctor, they're like, hey, Jason, tag in. I've got an emergency. I need you to do a quick colonoscopy for me, check for polyps. If you find one, call a real doctor and he'll cut them out. Not a problem, doc. How much are you going to give me? 20 G's? Cool. I'll look up somebody's ass for $20,000. Not a problem. I was just popping in to grab a soda pop. But if you need me to do that for $20K, I'll do that for $20K. I'd be up in that ass searching for polyps. I'd be just grabbing everything I possibly could. I'm finding old, torn up toilet paper, and I'm finding license plates. I'm finding probably leftover semen, depending on what their sexuality is. Whatever, I'm pulling it out. I have no idea what a polyp looks like, is my point. No idea, but that's what they're looking for. So I wake up, and this Dr. Gupta was his name. Dr. Gupta was his name. Dr.
Sanjay?
I asked if he was related to Sanjay. He goes, oh, no. But young guy, I think his name was Anita or Nita, Nita, I think. Nita, Dr. Nita.
He needs a Gupta.
Gupta. I think that was, I was trying to get him on the show. I emailed him. He gave me his email address and I emailed him and I haven't fucking heard back from him. So I wake up and he goes, good job. Like I did something. Like, oh, thanks. You knocked me out with some fucking drug. I just had my ass out. I did a great job. Thank you. I appreciate you putting me over.
Way to take it for the team.
You did the best colonoscopy I've ever seen in my entire life of America. Good job, Mr. Bailey. So I wake up and he says, good job. How was that? How do you feel? And blah. I was like, wow. And I kind of, it wasn't like foggy when I woke up. I just woke up. So when I woke up, I said, well, what did we find? And he said, we found 2 very, very small polyps. Now, I've never had anyone say that to me before. So being the 7 out of 10 hypochondriac, as you pointed out, Nate, I was kind of freaking out a little bit. Like, what does that mean? That you found 2 very small polyps. Does it matter if they're small polyps or big polyps or medium? I mean, one would think the bigger the polyp, the worse off you are. But I know nothing about this. How would you feel if you woke up after just having somebody up in your asshole and he says, hey, we found 2 very, very small polyps?
I don't think I would be that concerned if he said they were small. I assume when somebody says something small, it's not a big deal, unless you're talking about penises. I think if he was saying there was just 2 and they're small, I wouldn't think that would be a big deal.
Okay, I agree. So I said, well, what does that mean? Is that bad, good, bad, whatever? And he says, well, we've got to test it. We've got to send it away. Like, have you ever been to the dermatologist and they're like, I kind of want to cut that off your face. We're going to have to see if it looks benign or if it's benign or malignant, but we got to send it away. And then there's a waiting period and then they get back to you and, if all goes well, and I hope it does for anybody that has that happen, it comes back benign. Benign's good, malignant's bad. And so the same thing with this polyp situation, they send it off. He can't really say if it's cancerous or not. He just says they're very small, but he did say, I highly doubt it, So that was good. That was a good feeling. But you never fucking know, right? You never know. And this was, again, going back, I think I had like October 20, I think it was the 28th actually that I had my colonoscopy. So, you look at the couple weeks that have passed by, how long does it fucking take for me to get some test results from my ass invasion? Right? How long do you think it should take, right? Maybe 5 days tops?
Yeah, that's the thing with any kind of medical test. I have no idea when we're sending it off. Where are you sending it off to, and what are they doing? Because in my mind, or maybe your mind, I just think, they just run it through a machine and then it prints out the results. But maybe there's a waiting list. I have no clue on that.
Well, with the way technology is today, if I can get film developed in an hour and go pick it up, you should be able to tell me if my polyps are cancerous or not within an hour as well, right?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but also. It still takes 3 to 5 days to clear a fucking check. So who knows?
So I've been freaking out the last couple of weeks, going back to what this whole thing's about, being a hypochondriac, 7 out of 10. And, I've been keeping, Karate Man hurt from the inside. So I haven't been very vocal about it because the less I talk about it to anybody, including myself, because I do talk to myself quite often, is not going to make me freak out. But the more I think about it, I'm going to freak out. It's going to be bad. And I'm just going to be on tilt 24/7. That's not good for my wife. It's not good for my daughter. It's not good for the dogs. It's not good for the show. It's not good for you, Nate. It's not good for Mute, our newest member to the show, which we'll unveil on Friday. It's not good for anybody, right?
Right.
So I've been keeping it inside. I've been
Literally.
freaking the fuck out inside. So I had put on my Google Calendar that this week reach out to the doctor, the hospital, and find out my test results. So I called. I was put on hold. They said it was going to be a 20-minute wait, but thank God they had the voicemail thing, or the thing where they'll call you back and you just put in your numbers.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Love that. Whoever invented that, love you. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and then I was going through some old emails under my colonoscopy folder in my email, my Gmail, and I saw somebody, so I emailed them, and they responded back with the same fucking phone number I just called. So finally, somebody calls me, and now I'm scared, right? I'm scared.
Right.
Like, is this going to be one of those calls? This is 46. I remember, where were you the day you found out your polyps were cancerous after your butt invasion colonoscopy? Is this going to be the call? All as I can think of in my head is that scene in Bohemian Rhapsody where Freddie Mercury goes into the hospital, like incognito, in disguise, and they tell him he's got AIDS. And then he walks down the hallway, and the fan recognizes him but doesn't mark out and does the whole Freddie Mercury, woo-hoo-hoo, and he responds with, woo-hoo-hoo, and he leaves. And then he's got to tell the fellas he's got AIDS and he's going to die. You know you're going to die, especially then. Now it's a little bit different, thank God. But then you just got a death sentence. You've got AIDS, HIV. You're going to die. So that's what I'm thinking. This is where the hypochondriac goes from 7 to 12.
Right.
This is the phone call. I contemplate. Do I pick it up? Do I just let it go to voicemail and play phone tag and buy myself some extra stress time? No, be a man, Bailey. Be a fucking man. Pick up the phone and find out the results of your ass. Find out the results of your ass invasion. Right? Be a man.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Let's hear from our sponsors.
I've purchased properties and used Stockton Mortgage. I've refied properties and used Stockton Mortgage. Why do I do that? Because I like dealing with Dave Flashner. Dave gets shit done. He's no bullshit. I say, Dave, this is where I've got to be. This is what I need. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. And I just sit back. You know, a lot of times when you're dealing with mortgage dudes, right, it's you're always hounding them. You're like, well, they haven't called me. They haven't gotten a hold of me. So like this. I don't ever have to worry about that. And I'm that guy, by the way, because I want shit done real quick. With Dave, it's not like that. He's extremely reliable, extremely trustworthy, and he's always accessible. I'm talking 24/7, 365, 7 days a week. But I don't ever bother him because I know it's always getting done with Dave Flashner and Stockton Mortgage. So how do you get a hold of Dave? 561-951-0984. That's 561-951-0984. Tell Dave you're listening to Bailey, whether it's the BS or the Black Cloud podcast, any of the stuff that we're putting out there, because he's a fan and he wants to say thank you for listening and thank you for going to Stockton Mortgage. There's a reason why my friend Dr. David Markwell is one of the best therapists, if not the best, that exists. He's with Ridgeline Counseling. You can get him at markwelltherapy.com. But the reason is he's just one hell of a guy. He's the nicest human being I think I've ever met in my entire life of America. So if you're in a situation, wide variety of situations, behavioral health issues like anxiety, depression, relationship issues, parenting issues, trauma, substance abuse issues, you name it, if you've got it, he can help you out with it. He works with children, adolescents, adults. They offer Spanish-speaking counseling service, and they can do it all virtually. So if you go to markwelltherapy.com, you can get all that information. If you're in the Atlanta area, Georgia area, East Cobb, Marietta near the Square, and McKaysville right outside of Blue Ridge. Ridgeline Counseling, Dr. David Markwell. Nobody, and I say nobody, wants somebody peeking in their windows, whether it's in their car, or their truck, or their house, right? You need that tenant. Top Hat Tent in the Atlanta area, these are the guys to go to. TJ is fantastic. I actually ran into him. How did I meet him? Oh, I met him on Instagram. And then I said, hey, look, I needed my back rooms tinted and plus a couple cars. And he was quick, fast, in a hurry to get over to the Bailey House of Awesomeness. And he did a fantastic job. So now when I watch football, especially those 4 o'clock games and the sun setting, I don't have to deal with any of that. Just adding style and privacy, also reducing heat, as well as 99% of the ultraviolet rays. 2 front doors, 125, that's where they start. Full vehicles starting at $275. Residential and commercial, free in-home consultations. Get them out to your house. Plus a 15% off discount if you mention Bailey or the BS when you do business with Top Hat Tint. 678-761-2360, or you can go online, tophattint.com.
And back to you, Jason.
So I pick up the phone, very nice lady on the other end, and she goes, how can I help you? And I said, hi, my name is Jason Bailey. I'm trying to get my colonoscopy test results. It's been a minute. I'm assuming they're in. And she says, give me your birth date, 6/7/75. And like with everybody you talk to over the phone in customer service, no matter what job they're doing, their computers are always running slow. I don't know why.
Yeah, sorry, our system's down.
It's
like the ice cream machine at McDonald's. It's always down.
Everybody's computers are always running slow. I don't know if they're trained to say that or what. So she pulls it up. She goes, oh, yeah, here are your test results. You should be getting a letter in the mail. Well, you should have already gotten it. I said, well, when did you send it out? Oh, just a couple days after your colonoscopy. Are you fucking kidding me? I go, so you've had these results for 10-ish days? Oh, yeah. We put it in a letter and sent it to you in the mail. Okay, well, I haven't gotten the letter yet. Can't you pick up the phone or shoot me a fucking email? Or have me go to some portal or something? I mean, like, I'm sitting here stressing out if my polyps from my ass invasion are cancerous or not. And you motherfuckers have known the results for almost 2 weeks and you haven't given me that information? What? That is the definition of a dick move, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It shouldn't even be a letter in the mail. It should be, like you said, phone call immediately.
Right,
regardless
exactly.
Regardless of the results.
There should be a department that just calls people with test results. Just one department or one guy. That's your job all day long. You get into work, you punch in at 8 a.m., and you've got a list of people with positive or negative next to it. You don't know any more details. If you need more details, you can call this number. Very simple. Hi, my name's John McFillin, and I've got your test results, sir. Do you have a minute? Yes. They came back negative. Oh, okay, well, I've got some more questions. I understand that. I'm just here to tell you your test results. If you have more questions, you can call the question hotline, 1-800-QUESTION. Okay, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Have a good day. At least now you know, right?
Right.
That should be somebody's job. Not waiting for fucking 2 weeks to tell somebody if their ass invasion was cancerous. I've been sweating bullets over here, man. Anyway, the results came back negative.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I know. I know the best part of this episode would have been the big payoff would have been if they came back positive. But I'm sorry to disappoint you. They came back negative. Thank God.
So she told you right on the phone, or did you have to wait for the letter?
No, she told me on the phone.
Oh, good.
And then I still haven't gotten the letter. I don't know where they sent it. I don't know who's sending it to me, but
yeah, they got the wrong. What if it goes to someone else and they're like, I got polyps. What the hell? I didn't even go in for a test. How'd they know?
I have no idea. I will keep you abreast of when I get this said letter, but I have not got this letter. Like, why the fuck are you sending me a letter? Like, emails are so much more dependable and reliable than a letter in the U.S. Postal Service. Mail today sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, or like we said, a phone call. A phone call, you always know. You know if you talk to somebody or not. And if you don't, you mark it down on your little sheet and you say, I left them a message.
They have no problem fucking blowing your phone up if you haven't paid them, right?
Oh, yeah.
So why don't those people tell people about their test results? You know, if you do something, I mean, anything. Like I had a doctor, the heart doctor. They must have called me 8 times leading up, like the week leading up to my appointment, to remind me of my appointment. I got it. Thank you. I know some people are not as well organized as I am. But they like literally, it wasn't a service. They called me. You're trying to tell me that know, and I had the same thing with the heart people. I had to call them. That's the other thing. I had to be proactive and reach out to them. I got shit to do, man. I got podcasts to record. I got people to meet. I got families to run. I got court caddies to ship. I got shit to do. I don't have time to do your fucking job. I've been doing other people's jobs for the last 8 years. I'm done with it, right? You know, so fucking do your own job and reach out and touch somebody and tell them the fucking results. Somebody's going to have a fucking heart attack. That's the next problem. Somebody's going to have a fucking heart attack waiting for these test results because your lazy motherfucking ass won't call them.
Yeah, and what if the results said, hey, you're going to die in 2 weeks? You'd have been dead already. You wouldn't even have known.
Oh, yeah. So that's the other part. Here's the caveat to the story. So I was telling this to my neighbor, not old man Kevin, who does the voice work for us, but Mike across the street. He had a similar situation times 10 some years ago where, but his came back cancerous. There was something there was something in there, but this went on for 4 months. Like he never got the information for like 4 months. He couldn't get his test results for whatever reason. And they had to come back and they told him, oh yeah, you've got to do this now. He was like, well, why didn't you tell me this 4 months ago? You're like, oh, I don't know.
It fell through the cracks.
I don't know. And my other neighbor to my left, Iranian Tony, you know, he's from Iran, him and his family, very nice people. He's got colon cancer, or he's in remission. So he had it. He went through chemotherapy. I had no idea, right? And I see him all the time. Him and his family are very, very pleasant, very nice, great neighbors. He owns in Atlanta a cabinet and countertop place, very successful off Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Very nice guy, but I never knew this. He had colon cancer, had chemotherapy. They said it went away. He went in for a checkup. They were worried that, I guess, one of the cancerous polyps came back. Like, who the fuck invited you? And so now he's going through a dumbed down version of the chemo. So, like, I see him outside and he looks a little weak, but he's getting stronger and stuff. I'm like, man, our asses in this community, we got a problem.
I was going to say, you got to move off that street. Paula Place you got going on there.
Fucking this damn black cloud. And it started with my asshole. Now it's just spreading everywhere. All right, JasonBailey.com. Thanks to all of our sponsors, you 2%ers, you rock and roll. Thank you so much. Make sure you're keeping the conversation cool on the BS 2%er Facebook group. We appreciate it 5 days a week. Hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks. Bye.
People have said it for years.
Bailey, you have a black cloud hanging over you all the time.
Now, there's a podcast to hear those dumbass stories of misery and triumph. Welcome to Bailey's Black Cloud Podcast.